Leno suffers a horrific injury. Maupay with some magic in the dying moments. Arsenal sunk. Arsenal drop a massive L in the dying moments. That's 2 games back after the project restart. 2 defeats for Arsenal. It's going to be embarrassing. We're going to delve into some live digital fan cams now. We're going to have Adam on, Igal, Sonny, multiple other people. I want to hear from you. There's so much controversy surrounding this game. There is the challenge on Leno that I know is going to come up. There is hypocrisy within that too. I saw Arsenal fans celebrating Lacazette's late shallow on Ryan in the other end of the goal. You know I'm going to ball that up. But Arsenal fans, do not be distracted, in my opinion, by the injustice you feel of the situation with Leno. Your team took the lead and then were outplayed for the final 20 minutes by Brighton, relegation Brighton. That should be the main focus of you. But we are going to jump into these fan cams. First up is going to be Adam Charles, channel resident, channel regular. Let's go. Adam, bro, welcome back. Everyone watching, first of all, hit the like and share button, please. Really important for us. Game thrown away in the dying moments again. You drop more points. You drop the L to Brighton. What's going through your head, mate?
Bro, I don't even know why football came back, if I'm being honest. It's like, fair enough, you could say we were going to lose the thingy game, the Manchester City game. But then you look at the next couple fixtures, which is Brighton and Norwich, I believe, and you looked at them as winnable games. And now I'm sitting here, and it's not even like I can take any positives from the performance. We've got another injury. The only one I can look at that even tried, I guess you could say, was Saka. But even he didn't play particularly well today. I'm looking at our best player, Aubameyang, and it's evident. It's so clear. He doesn't want to play for the club anymore. The guy doesn't run. He doesn't put his foot in. You can see him throwing his arms up in frustration. Last time I saw that happen was flipping Alexis Sanchez, and then he pissed off and went to your club. Like it's just Terry. I don't even know how many times we can do this. I don't know how many times we can sit here and say Arsenal are not good enough.
Oh, lost your sound, bro. Can't hear you. No.
Wait,
back now. Yeah, got you now.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we can sit here and I tell you these things. We've been through it so many times. We've said Arsenal need a new centre back, and you know what's funny? There's 2 players today in the Brighton team, Dunk and Basuma, who would 100% get in the Arsenal team, and not only that, improve them. And that's a sorry state of affairs.
Mate, it's so true. I mean, and I'm glad you're focused on this, because I know there's a Leno situation, which we'll move on to in a few moments. But I think that a lot of Arsenal fans will deflect from the poor performance and focus on...
Ban the Leno situation. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, regardless, Arsenal should have enough strength in depth that they will be able to put in a backup goalkeeper that does a job. So regardless of whether Maupay injured Leno, which he did, that's not the focus, because if Liverpool take out Alisson, they've still got Adrian, who was West Ham's #1 goalkeeper a couple seasons ago.
Well, yeah, mate, we watched that Liverpool game together when Mo Salah's shoulder hurt and he went off crying, right? And what we said to Liverpool fans, well, that didn't make Carriers make the mistakes.
No.
And it's true, and I think Arsenal fans can deflect that way. But for me, the biggest thing that stood out, opening 10 minutes, you looked electrifying. You had 3 golden opportunities. Lacazette missed, for me, 3 clear-cut opportunities, which is poor, as an example. Saka, of course, hit the post. But then as the game went on, Brighton just got stronger and stronger, and you faded. And I thought what would embarrass me as an Arsenal fan, if I was one, is the fact that you'd already had a game. These guys, their first game in 104 days, and yourselves were strong. They were stronger than you in the last 20 minutes. You know, Pepe scores that brilliant goal. But after that, just nothing. I mean, what next? Because I know we don't want to go after Arteta, but have things really improved? Or is it a case of he just needs a couple of years, a few transfer windows?
Bro, I don't even know. Is it like, was it a honeymoon period? Was it that new manager bounce? I don't know. Like, I couldn't even tell you what's next, because you look at it, we're not getting Champions League, that's for sure. We're not getting Europa League. I'm pretty certain of that. So what? We've got another season. 25% of our revenue comes from fans. Are they even going to be able to enter the stadium? We don't even know. So Arsenal won't have the money. We didn't already have the money to challenge for these top players. Now it's going to be even more affected. What the hell are we going to do? Well, I don't know what to tell you, Terry. Like, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to tell you to say Arsenal can improve. We've got all these fans. People pay their super chat money. They do whatever. Everyone's got all these suggestions. And no one can see it. It doesn't improve. We say we should boycott. Nothing improves. We say we've got bloody DT Claude doing fan cams. Arsenal Football Club know about Arsenal Fan TV. Nothing changes. Like, what more can we do? We've commented and we've talked about it to death. There's nothing more that can be done. Like, there actually isn't. It's just players need to pattern up and step up and play better football. And until they do that, that's it. That's it. Guendouzi. Oh, bloody Terry. Guendouzi.
Mate, he's a joker. Honestly, bruv, I look at him, right? Sideshow Gibson, I'm calling him. Because he's no better than Darren Gibson. He's got that. Like, he is awful. He is awful. But the problem we have, right, is with all fan bases, and look, Man United have been dog for 7 years, really. But we see a player that we want to be good, and we just paint this picture like they're amazing. I watched Guendouzi again. He didn't get caught in possession or dominated as badly as against City, and why would he? It's Brighton. But he is not like, he's beyond. He would if he came through, if he was a youngster at Arsenal, say he came through the academy during your peak years, he'd have been gone at 16. He wouldn't be anywhere near an Arsenal team. Standards will drop massively, mate. But listen, I appreciate you coming on and being honest as well, because I know a lot of gooners are going to moan about, Leno. Leno, wish you a massive recovery. But listen, these things happen in football. I said this to a fan who was kicking off at me. I said, just watch Arsenal players, and all players, but I'm focusing on Arsenal, in corners. How many times you pull a shirt, lean into a centre back or a striker who's jumping? You know, those little things go on all the time in football. And just every now and then, something bad happens. But it's like, Lacazette made 2 really bad tackles on their players. Like, they're just as dangerous. It just so happened nobody got injured. So for me, anyone who's focusing on that is just, for me,
no. They're trying to paper over the issue. They talk about.
No, mate, I agree. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on. We're going to jump into some more of these calls. Chat to you soon, man.
No problem.
Arsenal podcast is going to be amazing when we set the. See you later on, bro. See you in a bit.
See you later.
Sonny, welcome back to the Football Terrace, mate. Listen, everyone tuning in, hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well, mate. That's 2 defeats in the space of a week, and this one, it must be so embarrassing to lose it in that way to a team like Brighton when you were 1-0 up. What's your thoughts?
It's not embarrassing, because at the end of the day, embarrassing is when you wake up in the morning and you go to get dressed and you put your partner's knickers on instead of your boxer shorts and go to work. That's embarrassing. Arsenal, not embarrassing. What Arsenal are, as in life, when you're desperate, right, your luck runs out, right? When you're desperate, that next meal is very hard to find. When you're desperate, it's very hard to find a job if you're looking for a job. When you're desperate, it's hard to find love if you're looking for love. When you're desperate and you're gagging for a fuck, you can't get one because you're trying too hard, right? We're desperate, right? And when you're desperate, your time has run out and it's finished, right? And unless there's change, right, it's not worth dissecting the players. It's not worth cutting them up and dissecting them, doing autopsy on them, because at the end of the day, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. And it's been beyond that for years, right? And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, thank you, Arsenal, because now you're going to build my YouTube channel. I wish I'd done it ages ago. I would have been a rich man like Robbie, right? I wish I'd done it ages ago, but thank you for the subs and from wherever, from whichever football club in the world you support. Come and follow my channel as well, because you're going to make me rich, right? That's all Arsenal are giving to me now, because as a football fan, they're not giving me nothing, right? What's there to be disappointed about? Aubameyang, piss off. You don't want to be here. You play well today, though. I'll tell you something. Arsenal play well today. I don't care, right? They did play well today, but they played to their level, and their level is not good enough to beat Brighton. That's the cold hard facts of it. You know what? This club now, I tell you something, we're at a crossroads, right? We're not even at a crossroads. We're at the edge of a cliff, hanging on by our shoelaces, right? Unless something drastic happens, right? I can see this football club falling out of the Premier League.
Relegation?
Yeah, I can see relegation. Yeah, because our kids are not ready, right? They're not buying good enough players and they've got no money anyway to buy the players they need, right? And you know what? None of these teams in the Premier League are mugs. And every game we play, regardless of whether you play in the top team, regardless you playing someone middle of the table, or you play, you're not going to get an easy game in the Premier League, especially if you are Arsenal.
Mate, I hear that. I mean, what's your focus? A lot of Arsenal fans on socials are kicking off at Maupay, what he did to Leno. Is that something that, of course, you're bothered your goalie's got injured, but do you think that's a deflective tactic to move away from the fact that Arsenal was so poor? What do you make of that situation?
There wasn't a situation there, right? And what that guy said, right? Brighton, I don't even know who he is, brother. He can walk past me with his Brighton outfit on, right? With his name tag on his badge, on his chest. I still wouldn't know who he is, right? He's a no one, right? But let's get it right. When Arsenal went 1-0 up, he turned around and said that Arsenal were giving it the large, right? Who the fuck are you, Arsenal, to give it the large against anyone? The fact that you went 1-0 up. That's what he actually said. I don't know whether you missed it, because you was doing your stream.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah, when they interviewed the one who went in on Leno. Right?
Okay.
And what his actual words were, Arsenal were giving it a big one when they went 1-0 up, and now the players are taking the piss because obviously they can hear everything what's being said now because there's no fans, right? And he said, you know what, they've got what they deserved because basically they've given it a big one, and now they've just come and got bitch slaps.
Well, it says here, he said that someone put the comment up, said Arsenal players need to learn humility and maybe sometimes. Do you know what? The thing is, I don't like to. It's an interesting one, really, because I think we do this sometimes in life. We like to focus on something that isn't important to paper over the cracks of real issues. And I felt that the whole Leno situation was that. You know, it was a cheeky little push. He had no intention of busting the guy's knee, and an accident happened. What I get frustrated with fans is how they're focusing on that now. And they're focusing on that push. And I'm thinking, hang on, how many late tackles happen per game? How many pushes and pulls? How many times the goalkeepers each season smash through attacking players to catch balls in the air? The only time we care about it is when someone we like gets hurt. And for me, it's a load of old nonsense. For me, it's just weak mentality by so many Arsenal fans again and again and again. It really, really is. Sonny, where did you...
Terry, can I just say one thing? Right? Sorry to cut your point. Please don't forget your point. Can I just say, when a fan comes on a fan cam, right, and he totally berates his club and slags them off, right, and you go in on that person, regardless of who it is, on whoever's channel or whatever, right, right, they're the fans who it hurts, and they're the fans who it means something to, right? All the ones who go in on anybody who's got the balls to go on social media and turn around and slag the club you love off, right, and then get slated for it, it serves you right now, right, that you've got this, right? It serves you right, and I hope it fucking hurts you, right? I hope it fucking hurts you, and you wake up, and anyone who's still defending them, you're not, forget being a football fan and Arsenal fan, you're not even human.
Mate, Sonny, thank you very much, mate, for coming on. We'll chat to you again soon, my bro. Cheers for what you said there. Top man.
Love you, too.
Dan, welcome back. Arsenal. Oh, we get a little bit of interference. Getting a bit of playback.
Is that better? That is
much better. I'm not sure what I don't know what you just did, but that was magic. That's some Harry Potter stuff you just did there. Two losses on the bounce, though, and you know you listened to Maupay's comments afterwards, saying that Arsenal players were giving it the big un, got too big for their boots after taking the lead. Hearing that, does that make you frustrated as an Arsenal fan?
You can link me outside, like catch me outside if you want. Do you know what? Yeah, Arsenal started off so strong. Like we started off really well, and obviously Pepe's goal. I feel like after that goal, beautiful goal by the way, but after that goal, I felt like we just relaxed. Like we thought it after that. Like we were like, yeah, cool, like that's it, we're done. And once that happened, Brighton got stronger. And as they got stronger, we just didn't know how to pick up the pace and get it together. Guendouzi, I'm just, this guy is stressing my soul. Like he's stressing my soul.
He's awful. I know everyone throws it around. I was looking at him, right? And I'm just thinking, he's no better than Darren Gibson. You know, he is that poor. Honestly, if his name was John Smith and he was born in Bristol, nobody would rate him. Because his name sounds amazing. I mean, Guendouzi, what a name. It's a beautiful name. He's got the hair. That's it. There's nothing going on. For me, shocking. Absolutely shocking in your middle.
Have a dysfunctional, honestly. I just is Arteta what, Emery 2.0? Like, what is this? Like,
well, I was going to ask you, I mean, how much of this do you put on the manager? Do you look at this and just think, what's he doing? Because there's a lot of praise. I think you were unbeaten in that little run towards the end of the season when it got suspended. Shape was better, and I thought the times today Arsenal shape was better. But the lack of mentality, that the mental strength of Arsenal is gone. Like, you used to be that team that would get a win out of nowhere. You would dominate most teams, but you just frail now. You know, you're like Amir Khan's chin, just finished. Like, finish. And I'm not even trying to be horrible. It's painful to see something that was so great just fall apart like this. What's next? What's next for your season?
You know what? Europa's out of it completely. That's out of the question now. Like, after City, you would have, like, for me personally, I would have thought Arteta, his starting 11 today was actually decent. And I was like, cool. Yeah. If this was our starting 11 for Man City, we probably would have been a whole complete different mindset. But now, like...
Oh, we've lost your sound. There we go. It's better. Sorry.
Yeah, certain decisions that Arteta's making at the moment are just not making any sense. Like, I feel like Tierney, he should have started today as well. And he didn't. Like, so many little things, I'm just like, Arteta, come on, focus. And right now, there's nothing else that we can do. We haven't got enough money for a transfer window to, like, start bringing in big players. And now we need a goalkeeper to add to our shopping list. For goodness sake.
I know. Yeah, what you said there about Kieran Tierney was right. I was shocked that he didn't start the game again today. Yeah. I thought that was a terrible decision. The only real player that walked away today with his head held high, I thought Saka was excellent.
Saka. I have time for Saka. I've got time for that boy. Honestly, I do. And the first half, he was, pushing that ball forward. He was doing what he needed to do with that ball. We did have a lot of chances at the beginning. Laka, go.
Go. Yeah. I mean, that's enough to say about Lacazette. Just the boy, lack of threat. What is it? I was calling him in the game. Yeah, the French Francis Jeffers. Just done. Like, awful. His link-up play was okay, but he's a finisher.
Yeah.
Those chances were not even half chances. They were gilt-edged and just awful. Exactly. And it isn't like it was today. That's been Lacazette for time. He
has not had any away goals since February 2019. Get out of my club.
Absolute dead. Sam, listen, I appreciate you coming on. Everyone go check out Gold Diggers. Make sure you hit the like and share button on this. We'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye. Elite Opinions. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. You've just seen your biggest rivals, Arsenal, as a Tottenham fan, get beat. Give us your review of that game, mate.
Arsenal fans, I just want to say something. They all laughed at me when I said the club's dead. It's dead and buried. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? Another performance. Another brain-dead performance. If I ever see anyone say this club is in a bigger trajectory than we are right now, I give up. The club is from bottom to top is rotten. How can I as a Spurs fan see what's wrong with the Arsenal squad and the team club right now, but Arsenal fans can't? You have to look at it from an outside point of view. Players like Lacazette, he's been a bum. His whole entire Arsenal career has been bummy. He's had a couple spells where he's scored a couple goals here. His Arsenal career has been dead and buried. Just move on with the dead of wheat. I'm sorry, I can think probably Aubameyang is the only player in that team you can say he's on the potential to be world class.
What did you make of the Leno situation today? It's trending all over social media. That seems to be on social media right now. That seems to be the focal point. Is focusing on what happened to Bird Leno. That was a game changer. The guy that gets the winner. What's your take on that situation? And Arsenal fans?
I've never seen a bigger bunch of crybabies. You know, we went to Brighton. You know, literally, we went to Brighton. The exact same thing happened to Lloris's hand. When we went to Brighton early in January, we went to Lloris's hand. You didn't see any Spurs fan crying. We moved on with the game. We took our loss and we moved on with it. I've never seen a bigger bunch of crybabies. The same exact thing, not exact same thing happened. It happened to Lloris's hand. He was getting pushed. He got pushed. He dropped down. He fell on his hand and he twisted it. So you can't tell me because Leno's injured, that means you lost the game. You lost the game because you got too cocky, too big for your boots, and you got put in your place. And I love Maupay's interview, and you see his interview at the end of the game.
I didn't see it, but I've heard about it.
What he did is they had Arsenal deserve what's coming to them. They have 40 points. You know how disgusting that is. I'm telling you now, I don't see them winning anything for the next 20 years. Simple as. They need to hear this. I'm sorry. If there's any time right now, Arsenal fans, they need to hear it now. Your club is dead and rotten. It's rotten from the core, the ground. A bum club. And it's great to see you in a position like this. It's a great position to see you in.
Listen, mate, thanks for coming on, expressing yourself, Elite Opinions. We'll speak to you again soon. Take care, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Everyone, Devo here from the United States. Everyone hit the like and share button before we move further forward in this, please. It's really important to the channel to hit the like button, share this with your friends and family. Arsenal have been defeated. Early defeat for you as well, being so early in the morning over there in the States. What was your take on the game, mate?
Well, first things first, for everybody that's never played goalkeeper out there, which I have on a high level, goalkeepers are supposed to bring their knees up to defend themselves. And if Maupay had taken a knee to the ribs, it probably would have protected Leno. So I got a kind of fault burnt for not protecting himself there, but it was a dirty play. I mean, if you run into a keeper who already had his hands on the ball, it should have been a yellow card.
I agree it should have been a yellow card. I agree that it was dirty. I agree that it was foul play. I agree with all of that equally. But what you just said there is goalkeepers have basically got a free pass in football to smash any player they want with their knees, and they never get in trouble. So why would you not do it? It was a weird decision from him, but I don't think it's a big enough turning point in the game Arsenal's problem was they couldn't hold on to the lead. What do you think went wrong? Because you got the lead. You played okay.
You know what went wrong? His name's Matteo Guendouzi. You play a pivot of Ceballos and Guendouzi, and you expect to get run over. Neither one of them is a CDM. You know, neither one of them understands the position. Neither one of them knows how to play a pivot. You know, no true number 10. You're basically trying to plug Bukayo Saka into whatever position he can fit on the pitch. I don't know what he plays at this point, but I know that wherever he is, he's great. You know, it's funny listening to a Spurs fan talk about how we're a dead club when they could look at their trophy case or, you know, spend the last 4,500 days not lifting any silverware. So talk about dead clubs, mate. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, you know, moving on, we probably need to sell a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm praying for Aliko Dangote to come in because, you know, Kroenke's assets in LA are costing him out the wazoo. That stadium's never going to get done. So I'm hopeful that Arsenal can be sold. I mean, that's literally the only thing that I see as helping us right now. Or, you know, everybody wants to be up in arms about, you know, Ozil's contract or will Aubameyang stay or sell them all. Fuck all of these. Like, no player is bigger than this badge. This badge right here, nothing matters more than that badge to me. I wear it on my chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have more pride for Arsenal than a lot of these players do. So if you're not going to play for the badge, get the fuck out of my club.
Do you know, I hear you on that. And do you know what's interesting? I'd rather have players of lesser quality, but who truly want to. I think you get more out of them, true people that really want to be there. And Ozil's one of them, but he isn't on the field of play. Aubameyang, I think there is an element of disinterest. Laka, I just think he's gone. I think
where is Gabriel Martinelli? What did Martinelli do to not see game time in these last two matches? How does he not seeing the pitch? Like, that's the biggest problem. You want to bring on Reece Nelson to give him 7 minutes. You want to bring on Kieran Tierney and play him at a position that he's not. Like, again, I appreciate what Mikel Arteta is trying to do, and I know it's like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest right now, but, like, he's got to pick a lineup and fucking run with it, because this interchanging pieces and let's try somebody at the, like I said, when they showed the run of games that we had at the end of the season, my sphincter tightened because I'm afraid that we're going to get like maybe 11 points. Maybe.
Mate, we've had a few Arsenal fans in the comments say this. Sonny said it as well. If things continue in this trajectory for Arsenal, are you talking about the bottom half of the table in the next couple of years if change doesn't come?
It all depends on what that change is, because the change to me is getting players, like you said, maybe a tier down. We don't need to get the guys that like, honestly, man, the whole buy of Pepe, I would have rather spent 72 million pounds on 3 defenders, 3 25 million pound defenders that could have come in. I mean, we got Rob Holding fresh off an ACL injury. We've spent way too much on Socrates, who's a yellow card and red card waiting to happen. David Luiz is shit, needs to disappear. Kieran Tierney hasn't been healthy all season. Bukayo Saka's not a left back. Who else is in there? Mavropanos can't stay fucking healthy and has been loaned out. It's threadbare. It's threadbare and it's poor spending. 35 million for Shkodran Mustafi with no other teams bidding.
Do you know what's interesting as well with all of that? In the last 5 years, you've only spent 30 million pounds less than Liverpool. And it is about sensible spending. And I'm not saying he's going to make you Premier League champions, but Tyrone Mings is better than all your centre-backs. And he was available for 25 million pounds.
You're 100% correct. I've said it all along. Abdoulaye Doucouré would work wonders in this Arsenal midfield. Another name that let's talk about that. How much did Sadio Mane cost Liverpool? 27
million, I think.
Bingo. And he's a worldie. How much are they going to sell him to Real Madrid for? Probably 100 million, right? Yeah, we bought Granit Xhaka. We bought Shkodran Mustafi. I mean, it's shit. It's absolute shit. We spent 72 million pounds on a French player that can't, or on a guy from France who can barely make the squad. We've got a dude on 18 million pounds a year not making the traveling 20. It's ridiculous. And Josh Kroenke says, be excited. I'm not excited, bro. I wear this patch on my chest because I love this club. I went to my first Arsenal match when my mom took me to London in 1994. I have supported this team since then, and it gets harder and harder by the minute. I'm not going anywhere, but God damn it, Arsenal, do something.
Devo, thank you for coming on, mate. Everyone go check Devo out on socials. Hit the like and share button for this video, and we'll speak to him again sometime soon. Take care, mate.
Deuces.
Tom from Guna Talk TV, disappointing result for yourselves again, mate. Maybe more painful than the Man City defeat because of who you were playing. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Oh, I mean, it's an understatement of the century saying it's disappointing. But I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've just come off the back of doing my show, and I feel like I've just expended so much emotional energy just ranting about it. The thing is, it's just so Arsenal right now. At the end of the show, I said, guys in the chat box, put one word in, and the amount of people that just used the word Arsenal to sum up that game, it was mental. Because this is what we've come to expect from Arsenal at the moment is immaturity. I mean, I don't know if you saw at the end of the game. I understand the anger of the players against Maupay for what happened in the situation with Leno. I get that, but Guendouzi went up and throttled the guy. And he's probably going to get a ban for it. And that petulance and the immaturity just sums up Arsenal, is that they try in the complete wrong way. Their emotions are all over the place. They're lacking in confidence. They're lacking in any form of just composure. And when you go 1-0 up as a club of the size of Arsenal, that doesn't then mean you should just accept that, oh, maybe we should try and hold out for this 1-0 win. But to allow Brighton then to go onto you and attack you, and it's just purely everything that Arsenal wasn't previously. And I'm talking now like 20 years ago, because it feels like it's been that long, and it probably has. Yeah. The way that Arsenal is now, it's just completely, the club has lost its soul effectively. And I'm not saying that someone is like Arsene Wenger was the soul and whatever of our club, because he did leave too late. And I think we missed the boat in terms of the tipping off point and sort of transitioning as a club, because he left it too long. And Arteta's now come in, and you can see that clearly there is a very good coach in him. And I think you've seen that with some of the improvements that we've seen in a couple of the players. But the in-game management is clearly where things are lacking. And the guy that you just had on and I was listening to was absolutely brilliant. Agreeing with so much of what he said. Martinelli not coming on is a strange one.
He's very knowledgeable really for a Yank as well. We know as Englishmen. I
know a fair few Americans
football, but yeah, Devo's there's quite a few Americans that phone this show actually, and they know football proper, and they all call it football as well, which I love. So yeah, Devo's a great guy, great guy. Mate, I get where you're coming from, and I'm at a point where, you know what, I do banter Arsenal. I'm a Man United fan, and people know that.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, of course, and we're not. You know what's mad? If we go back to September, I felt we were a million miles behind you. I look at the difference between us yesterday and you today. Yeah, we had to when Pogba came on, you saw a bit of scrappiness, but you think there's a team there. There's play, there's creativity, there's, you know, we only conceded a goal yesterday against a decent Tottenham team because we made a mistake. And, you know, we're not being ripped open at the back. And I saw times even when it was 1-0 to Arsenal, you had the left back whose name beludes me. I want to say it was Byrne, you know, marauding into all this space. I'm thinking, where's the Arsenal defense gone? Where's the shape? And it's just a lack of concentration from so many players. And then it's a lack of quality. And Arsenal have, and that's the most annoying thing. And United have done it too, dropping £900 million. And you go, where's the quality? You know, it's about buying the right players. And maybe, you know, if I think our clubs have been run and owned by very poor people. And often if they're that bad and we don't like them, you know, I get a little sense they might just be buying players because it's, oh, you know what, get on really well with that agent. He's going to get a nice bit of levy, nice bit of money if we buy that guy. Yeah, we don't need that guy though. We need Joey over there. That's half the price. Yeah, but I don't know his agent. I wouldn't be surprised if there was nepotism at the core of these bad signings as well, because surely Arsenal can't be that bad a judge of players on a consistent basis. And I throw other teams like us into that space as well. You know, why is it that so many rivals can sign all these? You know, how can Watford sign the quality players they do, but yet Arsenal can't find them? For me, it almost feels like a calculated decision at times, and it must be so hard to watch. I mean, in terms of the season now, you're in the FA Cup, but is it pretty much season over now in terms of anything competitive?
Yeah, of course it is. The league is pointless to look at. The FA Cup's the only thing, and the thing is, the FA Cup, you've got so many other fantastic teams in that competition that Arsenal aren't going to get anywhere near it. We're not going to get past Sheffield United away, because that Sheffield United team embodies everything that I'd love this Arsenal team to have. A manager that is so ingrained in that club and he wants them to succeed so badly. You've got players that would die for that club. In the back line has all got their heads screwed on completely. They know each other inside and out. And the biggest thing about Arsenal is what today showed is that they can go to a ground with no fans in it, away from home. The home team doesn't have any fans either, so it takes away the whole emotional element and the momentum that a crowd can give you. And it's just 11 versus 11. And the only thing that comes out from that is who is the better team. Whoever wins that game is the better side, no questions asked. And that Brighton side, I don't think they've won a game in the whole of 2020, but They put it on today, and they came up against an Arsenal side that just are so far away from what Arsenal fans want. And you summed it up there perfectly. It is the transfer business that happens at Arsenal. I think that United have made a couple of signings that make so much more sense than the ones. Like, you make comparisons like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you look at Bruno Fernandes. Like, these guys are young enough that even if they were to, say, leave in 5 years' time at the end of their contract, or before the end of their contract, you'd make a lot of money from selling them. The difference between Man United and Arsenal is that Arsenal sign players late in their career, like Lacazette, for instance, or like Aubameyang. And when they come to the end of their time, we let them drive their contract down and then we let them go. There's no resale value. And you're seeing it again with the Thomas Partey. Don't get me wrong, Thomas Partey is a fantastic footballer. And I'd love Thomas Partey to be at Arsenal, but I would have loved him to be at Arsenal 4 years ago. Coming in at 27 is a mistake, because he's going to sign for Arsenal and I don't know why he would want to, but if he signs for Arsenal, he's going to have a 4-year contract. And at the end of that, there's no resale value, and Arsenal in another financial situation that they cannot get hold of. And again, they're signing someone not from the Premier League. Why we don't use the Premier League source? The guy Devo was saying about Decore. We should have signed Decore 2 years ago, but we just don't manipulate that market.
Mate, listen, I appreciate you coming on. Everyone go check out the channel, Gooner Talk TV on YouTube. We'll speak to you again soon, mate. Take care of yourself.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. The kid back on the show. Arsenal lose 2-1 to Brighton. Give me your thoughts on the game. What went wrong?
Honestly, I could start from anywhere. Brighton, in our last 5 Premier League games, we have had 3 losses and 2 draws. These guys are our level now. This is our level. We are no longer at the top of the echelon. We're no longer at the top of the Premier League. I have to be realistic and say, hey, we are mid-table. We're a mid-table club and we're going to be fighting for relevancy for the next 2 years until either the kids become good enough where they can play well for us and the kids will save us, or the club is not run well and they need to fix the issues. Because as a fan, I don't see our next win. Even though we're facing Southampton and Norwich, Southampton slapped somebody 3-0 the other day. It was Norwich, right?
Yeah.
I don't see us beating Southampton, and I don't see us beating Norwich. This is just, I don't see the next win, Terry. I don't know when we're going to win a game again this season. That's how bad I feel.
I'm not even trying to be salty here. I'm starting to agree more and more and more. Arsenal Football Club I feel like they've gone. And do you know what? I think it could be a very long and bumpy road. You know, it's terrible at the club. It's genuinely terrible there. And you've got Martinelli and Saka coming through that are talented, as an example. And that's great. But are they going to want to stay at a club that doesn't appear to have any real future? You know, and look, I know people say, you're a United fan, you're only 6 points in front of us. Yeah, that's true. But I can see light at the end of the tunnel. Most Arsenal fans you speak to, if they drop the banter for a moment, they can't. You know, and Tottenham have fallen from grace massively. They're still in front of you. Like Wolves are on the up and up, and they're going to keep getting better over the next 4 or 5 years. Sheffield United, they're C. Not Newcastle's over purchase is going to be massive. Leicester are where they are. Leicester are always going to be in and around that. Let's see what Everton do after Ancelotti's actually given a summer to buy people. And what I mean by that is there's so many teams now that are at Arsenal's level and above it, but they're being run well. They're being run well as football clubs. And trust me, Newcastle will be run impeccably. The people that are buying it are not going to... It's going to be another Man City. And it just pushes Arsenal further down the list. And I just feel like I get Arsenal fans have this expectation of we want to win the Premier League again. Yeah. I'm honestly saying I think Arsenal fans have got to drop that notion of ever thinking about winning the Premier League in the next 10 years. I think
that what it is, Terry?
A pipe dream.
Terry, it's bigger. Yes, the club is not run well. For example, what the Ziyech and Warner is the same price as what Pepe costs and David Luiz. That's a joke. But moving aside from that, when you think about it, it's not just the ownership. It's not them. The players lack ambition because the players in our club, the ones that are in our club, they're happy to sit on their wages. They're happy to sit there and take loss after loss. Guys like Skradar Mustafi, these guys, Xhaka, they're willing to just sit there with their wages. If anyone comes to Arsenal and signs for my club, I have to ask, are they coming here because they're mercenaries? Because yes, Arsenal is going to pay you a lot of money, but you're not winning anything and you're not going to push anything up. We need to go and do character analysis and sign some young players who have the character to develop, because the only people that I see promise from are the guys who are looking to develop and grow. Like when you see Saka, you see Martinelli, those are the kind of guys that bring some confidence in my skin. But everyone else, to me, Terry, Aubameyang, Lacazette, everyone's got to go. And if Leno's injured for the rest of the season, I'm scared we're going to finish in less than 15th. Because what you got to realize is we can go down.
If Leno's knee is as bad as it looks, he's probably going to miss the whole of next season. That looks like it looks like a complete knee snap and break. And the minimum that is 6 months. The minimum that will be is Christmas to January until he's back. There's no doubt.
Hopefully it's a hyperextended knee and it's not an actual ligament tear or anything like that.
Maybe. Do you know what? Maybe it's because I've suffered major knee injuries. It was the, like when Lacazette should have been sent off in that game, by the way. The tackle. No. That was a late tackle.
He was there first. He
should have got, for me, he should have got a second yellow. But even though the reason why I knew he was late was his reaction. The way he rolled around on the floor holding his leg. People when you're hurt don't do it. When you get hurt in any sport, you almost lay still because the pain is so crippling. I remember when I snapped the cruciate in my knee, I laid there. I literally was like I've been shot. I laid there, I couldn't move. That's how I knew Lacazette had done something wrong there, because it was like I've got to exchange. But anyway, as bad as we are, we are 2 points away from Tottenham. So these guys, that guy talking ish, he needs to realize, as bad as our club is and as good of players that he has compared to our squad, like look at the Arsenal squad and look at the Tottenham squad. They shouldn't be 2 points between us at all. We're that bad. But I think his point, and I don't agree with a lot of what Elite Opinion says, but he's talking about trajectory. You just said it. Arsenal's trajectory is going down. Spurs, by the way, couple of good signings and get rid of Jose and bring in a good manager, they've got some serious talent in their team. Like, you would die to have a Harry Kane, a Son, maybe not Dele Alli. You know, they've got Bergwijn. And, you know, Sanchez is good. You know, they've got to improve, but it's about trajectory, I suppose. And that's the thing. And I look at United and Arsenal. 9 months ago, I was panicking about the direction my club was going in. Right now, after the way we played last night and the way you played tonight, and by the way, there's going to be rustiness in everybody because of the break and we're getting back. But for me, I wouldn't swap places with Arsenal for all the tea in China. I really wouldn't.
Who would? Anyways, big up to Pepe for the goal. Even though we lost, try to say something positive here because you know me, I'm always optimistic. Big up to Pepe. We had a good first half. Saka hit the bar. Honestly, this is not an excuse. We had a good first half. Second half, we crumbled. And it just goes to show you Arsenal is the only club that can come back from 3 months off and get more injuries than they had before the break. It's ridiculous.
Right, mate. Listen, Gal, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll speak to you again soon. Take care, buddy.
Peace.
Elite KJ, bit of rival chat here. Arsenal get beat. Smile on your face, bruv.
Woo! It's like a drug. I said to my dad today, it's time to go inject my daily drug, which is Arsenal tears, fam. I love it. I love this game. I love Arsenal. I really do, man. They give me so much joy in my life. Look at my smile, bro.
You know, we've sat here listening to a lot of Arsenal fans talk, and the point of these fan cams is for me not to overly challenge them too much. I've got a lot of thoughts, and I'll do my final thoughts a little while, but I want to ask you first question is about this Leno. The Arsenal fans right now are going mad on socials. They are. I mean, I've never seen Arsenal fans so angry about a situation. They're like kicking. The fact he gets the winner as well upsets them dramatically. But do you think they're just deflecting, talking about the Leno situation? Do you think it was that much of a turn of events, or is it just them trying to deflect from how bad their team is?
It's deflection. It's deflection. Subconscious deflection, I think. Like I've played football, obviously not at the same level, but like I've played football. I played up front. I've played games where goalkeepers smash into you. I've played games where defenders like hold round you when you're on a corner, or like they clip you while you're running through.
Yeah.
So as a striker, there are times where I'm charging at the goalkeeper 50-50 or 70-30. I hold my ground. I hold my ground. If a goalkeeper comes up to get the ball and I hold my ground, or I go into him and he's weak enough to just drop on the floor, that's the game. I'm upset that he got injured. No one wants to see that. But it's part and parcel of the game. Like you said, if he stuck his knee out, bust my man Maupay in the ribs, no one's saying nothing. So it's just peak. That's all it is.
I agree. I think it's like any of these situations. I mean, Lacazette's tackle on their goalkeeper was every bit as dangerous. And this is what happens in football. We don't care about bad tackles. We don't care about the dark arts until it's one of our players or teams who lose out because of it. And that's why, you know me on this channel.
Yeah. Can we talk about lack of goals for a second?
Yeah, we're going to move on to that in a minute, because Lacazette, for me, or as I'm calling him, Francis Jeffers 2.0, I mean, he came in with so much expectation. He has been one of the biggest flops. For the money he cost, one of the biggest flops in Premier League history.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm so disappointed, because he was a player when I saw him at Lyon. I was like, Dad, sign him for United. He needs to come. He's got the pace. He's got the finishing. He can link up well. He's come to the Premier League. First season was okay. He got their player of the season, but like his first season was okay. Got a few goals. He played well, hold up the ball, linked up well. But this season, I'm just like, yo, bruv, like you're a big 28, 29-year-old man playing for Arsenal. You need to be scoring more. You need to be doing so much more than you're doing. And people like to chat about Martial. Oh, he's been in the Premier League for how long and blah, blah, but this guy is supposed to be one of the best strikers in Europe at the time when he came. And why has he got to show for it? So Arsenal fans literally need to stop looking at Man United, stop looking at Spurs. Just keep on your own team. If I was Arsenal, I would sell the whole lot. I think the players that I'm thinking about keeping would be Saka, because he's looking like good talent. Martinelli, Leno, obviously, he's one of their best players. And then who else? There was one more that I was thinking of. See, that's how bad it is. I can't remember. Like, Aubameyang's good, but he's getting to that point where like he's looking disinterested. Just cash in and order what you can and start again. And I'm not saying, and I think their approach is wrong. They are looking at players like Partey. He's a good player, but you're going at the wrong angle. You need to stop trying to get these players from these big teams to try and come to Arsenal. You need to start again, build up from the bottom up. So that means if you look at players like, I've said it before, Calvin Phillips from Leeds, he would improve that midfield so much. He could actually dictate a game. Guendouzi ain't doing that. Ceballos ain't doing that. You look at strikers that can actually do something. You got Edouard at Celtic. You got Ryan Fraser, who could come in on a free. He's refused to pay for Bournemouth because he wants to take that next step. Get Ryan Fraser, free signing. He would improve your left-hand side because he would actually be a winger.
Yeah, mate, no doubt about it at all. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, bro. We'll chat to you again soon, all right, my man? Take care, top man. Arsenal fans, it's, as the kids say, it's peak. 2 games after the Project Restart begun, 2 defeats, 2 poor performances overall, weak mentality against Brighton today. Hugely weak mentality. You take the lead, you're up against relegation-stricken Brighton, and you can't get yourselves over the line. I understand the disappointment of losing Leno, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. It's going to disrupt any team. But you have to be big enough, strong enough, and ugly enough to get yourselves through it. But I think the biggest issue here for Arsenal fans is expectations. I understand that people, they want to win titles again. They want to be Premier League champions again. But in my opinion, those days are finished. You know, at the end of The Lord of the Rings, when you see all the elves getting on the boat, and you see like Frodo getting on the boat, and it's like it's the age of man now. Like, that's Arsenal drifting away on that boat. Arsenal's age of being a dominant club at the top is over. Part of that is what Man City and Chelsea have done to the game. Premier League money has enabled the Tottenhams of this world to elevate. Man United and Liverpool being at the peak of their powers again. Man United just have superior funds. And then you've got the Wolves, the Newcastles to come, the Leicesters, run by billionaires who run the club properly, that care about what's happening on the field of play more than any other element of the football club. And Arsenal, unfortunately, have been left behind. And I think the expectation that Arsenal fans have is what creates a hell of a lot of the anger within them. Arsenal Football Club are now a mid-table team. Arsenal Football Club, in my view, are 10 plus years away from winning a title again. And not because they can't get better, but there are too many teams in front of them that they physically are not going to have the ability to leapfrog. The expectations from fans has to drop. The club need to stop going out there and trying to, I need to sign this big name here, this big name there. It's about signing players of good quality at your level. Go to your Watfords. Go to your Leeds Uniteds. Go across the Premier League. You can go across Europe as well, but buy players that you know can play the British game and that can do well for you in those in the mid-table battle that you're in. And then from that point, when you build that foundation, then you start to grow. Then maybe when you've built a young, vibrant squad that can beat some of the top 6. The last time you won a game away from home against a top 6 side, LVG was the Man United manager. It was years and years ago. Haaland, who is now one of the best strikers in the world, was a 14-year-old boy. The expectations of the fans is skewed. You're no longer a big club on the field. You're a massive fan base, beautiful stadium, fantastic tapestry and history to you. But you're no longer a big club. Lower your expectations. Secondly, the club has got to build a foundation. The Thomas Partys, the Aubameyang, the Lacazette, the Pepe signings, they're no good for you. They're no good for you. They're basically trying to polish a turd with those signings, and it isn't going to improve you. The Corres of this world, Tyrone Mings of this world, Lewis Dunks of this world. Good quality players. Build a base, build a foundation, and grow from there again. Because right now you're trying to put a roof on a house with no walls, with no foundation. It isn't going to work. It's absolutely impossible. And the second thing I want to say is this. Stop focusing on needless elements of the game. The push on Leno was horrible. It's a sneaky little push, and it led to a terrible injury. But that isn't the reason you lost. Stop deflecting. Stop trying to make that the big focus point and look at the fact that Arteta is a novice manager with no experience. In my opinion, should not have been picked over Ancelotti. He could come good though. But he's got loads to learn and he's going to make mistakes, especially in-game management. Novice managers from the high, it doesn't matter if you play 10 years in the Championship, 10 years in a small nation in Europe. Novice managers at the elite level will always have inferior in-game management to a lot of their counterparts. It's going to happen. The squad needs an overhaul of about 90%. That needs to start happening soon. Otherwise, you will lose the talents like your Martinellis and Sakas that are brilliant. And if these things don't happen, and if you as fans don't learn that this is a 5 to 10 year project to potentially get you back to the top, it's never going to work because you're going to put pressure on that board that's going to crumble every rebuild that happens. Fans play a huge part in this every single day of the week. So stop being as weak as your players on the field. Stop deflecting onto needless points about Leno's injury or the referee screwed us today. VAR ruins football. No. Arsenal's problems are man-made by Arsenal from the middle out. Terrible transfer dealings, holding on to Wenger for too long, turning your back on Unai Emery's plan halfway through, employing a novice manager in Arteta over experienced players, chasing superstars that will not improve your team because the foundations are rotten. That shouldn't be how any major club, any big club is run. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. And until you improve that, and show the humility that's needed, understand that you are a mid-table team at best at this point. And don't take that as an insult. It's a fact. Until you learn that, the whole club, and by the way, you fans, you are the club. You are the club. Until you lower those expectations in the short term to build for the long term, it's never going to improve. Never. Not today, not next week, not next month. You might get a good result. Oh, we beat Man United this year. Great. Is that your season? Is that how far Arsenal have fallen? Oh, we're only 2 points behind Tottenham. What? That isn't the Arsenal that I grew up to respect as a Manchester United fan. That weren't your level. You were disappointed if you missed out on the league title by a point. And it all started with the fans celebrating the top 4 trophy. The invisible top 4 trophy was where it all begun. You allowed the expectations to be dropped. You allowed those expectations to drop so far that it's been impossible for the club to pick it back up again. The club is a reflection of you and you a reflection of your club. You're in this together. Back your club. Don't jump on Banter FC, slagging off every player every 5 minutes. Whatever this new rebuild is, get behind it. 100%. Ignore the banter from Tottenham and Man United fans. Ignore it. Stop screaming for managers' heads to be sacked when you don't like them. Get behind the club's rebuild. Demand that things are done properly. And when you see they're not being done properly, boycott. It's the only way you make not blood hungry, that's the wrong word, money hungry leeches of owners care. Until next time, take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Make sure you hit that like and share button. It's massively important to us here at the Football Terrace that you do that. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.